What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Sand Adventures. We're working on the museum, and I think this is going to be the last episode for a bit because my voice is getting a bit hoarse. And I basically now just spend the entire day talking when I do these. When I start recording, hitchhikers and all that stuff, I actually have started there doing this type of style as well, just to talk through what I'm doing and everything. And I really find, as relaxing and nice as it is, that my voice starts to get a little more hoarse, and I start to not be able to think as clearly, and I do a lot of this, what I'm doing right now, kind of stop, think, and then restart my sentence. Let's make sure this gets wet. Otherwise, we'll have to break our glass, and I don't want to do that. I've got a lot of stuff in my life that I have to work with on every day, and sometimes it can certainly feel a lot and be pretty overwhelming. And that overwhelming feeling really affects the creativity in this type of world. Well, not necessarily in this type of world, but in my single player and hitchhikers. So right now, on my plate, I've got to edit the hitchhikers, and I feel like I just don't have enough for that episode. I feel like it's not good enough and all of these things. And I have no idea how I want to progress with it. And so I carved out some good time today to be able to work on that. And I just noticed this procrastination feeling, and I got a lot of other stuff that's starting to come down the pipeline. And I don't know. I have certainly, I think, been feeling a pull to get a lot more stuff done. And I think it's a bit more difficult sometimes to process that than I think. And so when I think about get more stuff done, it's like, okay, well, what can I do? So I kind of go through ebbs and flows a little bit. And it's really nice to come in here because it's very easy to find out what I need to do. But at the same time, I've spent so much of my week in here, and I think I'm starting to come to the realization, looking at the timeline of Minecraft, that we are gonna be here for a while. This is episode, I think, 33, and the next update isn't for another 12 updates. So, and that's just gonna be the redstone update, and will officially be an alpha. And so what I'm sort of learning a little bit here is that although that's going to be exciting and everything, I'm going to need to come up with some really good projects. Alright, this finally got wet, so we can close that off. Yeah, I'm going to have to think of some pretty good projects that we do. And Infdev 130. Okay. There. So, we got the outside of the monument. We got the ceiling that we still need to finish. We've got up here that still needs a little bit of work. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. And that's good. I'm glad that we've got a lot of work ahead of us. By the way, let's do an impromptu mining trip, see if we can't find a decent amount of coal. But we'll check over here in this box. If I have coal, it'll be in here. I don't. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of thinking about that lately, and thinking about where the priorities sort of lie, and how to, I guess, make the most of this as we go through. When Minecraft really starts taking off and feeling exciting, and the adventure gets really, really super rich, is going to be Alpha 2.0, which is going to be in about 200 days from now. And what's crazy is, when we get on that track outside of Alpha, and let's go this way. The main caving system is down a little further. Oh, there we go. Coal. When we get on the fast track to into beta, you know, we're talking about 200 days before we get there. But then from that point, it's about 100 days before we reach beds. And then another 100 days, and we're at Java 1. So from here to, from this point, 200 days from now, we're still going to be in Alpha, finally really ramping up and getting some really nice blocks to play with. But then in 200 days from that, boom, Java 1, full release. And that's crazy. And then from there, you go 200 days, and we end up at 1.14 with the Village and Pillage update. That's how quickly things are going to go once we get out of this phase. One of the reasons why I'm thinking of slowing the pace down a little bit once we get into the full releases. But when we get into beta 1.5, that's when BOO started his Let's Play. I'm looking at it, and there's stuff like sheep still don't eat grass. So we're going to get, 300 days from now, and sheep still are not going to be eating grass. We're still going to be having to hit them to get the grass. We're just barely 300 days from now going to get beds. So that's almost a full year from this version when you guys are watching it. Such a slow pace there. So I need to figure out the scaling, and I need to figure out how we want to do it. But I do want to slow down when we get to the alpha area. I mean, not the alpha area, the release. But I think it's really kind of interesting. And maybe we can do snapshots. Maybe that's the way we do that. We look at the stable snapshots, and we go by the snapshots instead of the release dates. But it really got me thinking just about the process and the process of where we're at right now, in the regular version of the game, the 1.19 version, and how this game from in the real world sense of development to release, it seems like we got a lot more in a shorter amount of time. But the truth is that as we look at these updates, there really wasn't that much great things that were added. That many great things that were added in the development phase. And then all of a sudden we're getting, updates now, thankfully yearly, but there have been almost 20 updates from 2011 to now, and that's 2 updates a year. So I talked about this the other day, but when we sort of catastrophize the situation at Mojang, we say, I just wish they would give us more updates. We used to get way more updates. You have to ask yourself, do you want the development phase to be clunky and to get new things that don't, like, if we got frogs, right? They update you to, I don't know, 1 point. They like release a snapshot that's quote unquote stable or whatever, and you get frogs, but the frogs don't do anything. They just kind of exist. Is that what we want? I don't. I'll speak for myself. I don't. I want updates that make good sense. And so, as I've thought about this a little bit, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 0206. For this series, I'm just going to have Infdev 210.0206. I think we're just going to have the updates be snapshots. But I just like the slow progression, the slow little things get added at a time, and then we get to kind of unlock and see. I've also thought about with this challenge the idea of doing just that, of having certain things be locked behind gates of progression. So when we finish something, we can move on to something else. Actually, I just realized I put these off to the side, and that looks a whole lot better. So why don't we do that? 0219. The only problem is that a lot of times with the snapshot versions, they're very unstable. Whereas these ones, they're not unstable. They're they're always unstable. But when we had this stuff, we kind of don't really explore much with the. There's not really that much that's changed and experimented with, rather. I think that's what I'm saying, is it's not experimented with as much. Notch kind of either experimented on his own and then released that which he wanted people to see. Unlike with Minecraft Now, where this is a true criticism, is now they seem to kind of give us a whole big look into what they're working on. By extension, that gets you excited for what's to come, only to be let down when you find out that they've decided not to add that feature that you wanted. And I think that's really sad. I really do. Because one of the things I love about Minecraft is the constant addition of features, and for them to sometimes tease features like the Firefly, only to kind of then say, you know what, it's not working out, we don't want to do it because of this or that. It can be frustrating. But what I try and remember, like I said the other day, is that we should be just thrilled in general that we even get anything from them. Because I'm looking at you, Skyrim. They just re-released the game. And don't fix any bugs. Just re-release it. And say, hey, how about you buy our game again? And Minecraft gives us updates on a consistent basis that are amazing and enjoyable. And if we become more appreciative of that and understand that, it'll feel a lot better when they do things and are not as transparent as they maybe should be. I think we view, maybe rightfully, Minecraft as a community, and it can be hard sometimes with distinguishing the community factor with business, because as much as, yes, the Minecraft community is a community, it's diverse, and so everybody wants something a little bit different, and what people think is important is not necessarily what other people think is important. And so Mojang also isn't necessarily just going to take everyone's opinion or even a single person's opinion into account. I mean, they removed every bit of everything Notch put in the game about him. So, and Notch created the game, but once they bought it, that was it, because of stuff that Notch made a conscious decision in his life to do. So, and they didn't really, I don't think they said much about it or anything. I think they just did it. So it's important to remember that we don't always have choice with what we get in this game. And so, as much as you want to petition and rally for things, sometimes it's just not going to happen. And, by the way, I want to say I'm not talking necessarily specifically about people in this community, my community. I'm just talking in general. Just kind of rambling about thoughts that I have. But yeah, as I've been playing this game more and more and really enjoying it, and enjoying the process of the building and the looking at things, it's made me a whole lot more appreciative when we get an update, and it's not necessarily a update with something extra special or anything. It's, oh my god, we get a new block to play with. That's going to be super cool. And I think about frog lights and how much I love frog lights. And we were given that. And thumbnail time. We were given that in this past update. And I honestly never made it a point to think in my wildest dreams that we would get something like that when I started playing. So I think I'm trying to say that I am thankful for what the Mojang crew is doing right now. And I'm not going to always agree with the stuff that they choose to do. But I definitely am happy that they're continuing to do updates. And allowing the modding community to do what they do. So, as much as we might say, oh man, I wish they'd be more free, let us do what we want to do, and the modding community, man, they let the modding community go crazy. And I really like that. I really like that we get so much from them. Alright, let's, we're going to put that there, and that there, and that there. I don't think we've got a whole ton of glass, but we'll see. Dang, if this doesn't look nice. It's exactly what I imagined when I imagined this. So this is all of Infdev and Infdev. And then we just have to add one more room for the stairs. And then we're looking at making one for Java. The Java update. Let's go see if we got glass left. I do love our house. Considering the timeline that we built it in, man, I bet you I would be super famous if I built this thing back in the day. Oh well. Alright. Let's finish this up. There we go. So, I am gonna be enjoying this week and next week, and I gotta actually try and think, I think today, about how I'm gonna do things, work on things, because there's so much that I need to do that I've been holding off on in real life. and I'm going to have a good amount of time to really think about it and get some of these systems that I've been talking about the last 30 episodes in place and really working well for me. So hoping that everything can work well so that I can do that. I think once we get a lectern and books, we'll eventually turn these into lecterns and give some extra context to some of the stuff that we're looking at here, because I think it would be cool. So this is where the stairs are gonna be. We're gonna make a little room off in this direction, but that actually is it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. We will keep on trucking. Everything looks so gray. There's like barely any color. That's why it's good to have mossy cobblestone, because it just kind of pops the color a little bit. But that's okay. We'll get there. So thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.